Welcome to today's podcast. I am here with the students that are in the storytelling and podcasting class at Arts Bonita in Bonita Springs, Florida. I wanted to just take a minute. This is our last class, and this is our last podcast of this session. So I just wanted to go around, check in with each of you, and just say, how has it been? How are you feeling today? And please say hello to our audience. We'll start with you, Betty.
Good morning, or should I say hello? Because whoever's watching this may not be watching it in the morning.
That's correct.
I'm doing well. Weekend, I was exhausted, so I woke up this morning feeling really great. Glad to be here. Love taking this class.
Good. Richard?
Good morning. This has been an exciting time taking this class. If anybody watching, I would suggest that that's interested in podcasting, I suggest that you take it up. It's been a great day so far.
Thank you, Richard. I'll give you the $5 later.
There we go.
Lori?
I'm going for $10. Would that be
Okay.
okay?
Well, we'll see. It depends on how well you do. We'll see.
That's great. Yeah. Well, likewise, I guess to colleagues here have enjoyed taking the class and getting to know the participants better. And I really appreciate the light because I've been sleeping here a little bit. I went to bed late last night. So
Yep.
just waking up.
Okay. Well, good. Well, we've got a little bit of a different format today. Today, nobody prepared anything except for me. I prepared some questions to be able to ask during this final podcast. So we're going to start with you, Lori, and then anybody can chime in at any point and we'll go around. But I really want to know, what is your morning ritual?
Well, I guess it depends if we've had a weekend of company. So changing sheets is always good because we've got 17 grandchildren and we've got family coming in now. And so typically it is watching the news. I do some reading and meditation in the morning. I have a beautiful view out my lanai so I can see all the crew from the golf club that are cutting grass and getting the day ready. And I just really enjoy getting a start looking out at nature. We have a beautiful backyard and seeing animals. In fact, just the other day, a bobcat was out there.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't too excited about being out there on the outside of the lanai. Thank goodness we were on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 17 grandchildren. So next time you have people visit your house, I would say maybe separate rooms for
and
some of the people who are visiting.
I was just going to say, do you have a large house?
hope
we
so,
can't
God.
have them all at one time because even just having 5 at one time,
Wow.
we are so tired.
That's
a
after
lot.
they
Yeah.
leave. But
I don't know about you, but grandchildren can wear you out.
but it's
I've
a
got
good
4.
kind of wearing out.
It
Yep.
is a good kind
It's
of
a good kind of wearing out.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
How about
Yeah,
for you,
pretty good.
Richard? What's your morning ritual?
So generally get up, I'm an early riser, try to get up. Well, I'm usually up by 6 a.m. We have a Breville coffee maker, espresso. And so I like to use that, and I make myself and my wife a cup of coffee. Have really gotten spoiled with that. And then I generally, if it's warm enough, I'll go out on the lanai and sit down and enjoy my coffee and read the newspaper. That's what I generally do.
Which Breville do you have? Is it the espresso maker with does it have the frother and everything?
Oh, it has a frother. It grinds the beans. It does everything.
Yeah, I think you have the same one we have.
Fancy.
Yeah, we got it and we love it. So good choice. I
That's
love
great.
it. I'm a coffee snob, so I approve.
That's great.
No, I only have generally one a day though. That's plenty.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely not me.
Okay.
But
I found that what I liked when I was drinking coffee, I finally realized it was the cream. I liked the cream. It wasn't the coffee, so I stopped drinking coffee.
so now you just drink cream. Just
Yeah,
I'd
there we
like
go.
to.
That's good.
I'd like to. No, I'm a tea drinker now.
well. So what is your morning ritual then?
It's almost the same every day. I get up, and I'm early bird too. I'm usually up around 5, and I like to go sit out on the lanai before all the grass cutting and the leaf blowing starts.
Yep.
And I sit out there and I just sit in silence and stillness until the leaf blowers come out. Then I go inside and I journal with a cup of tea in the morning. I do a notebook, and then anything's game after that. Who knows?
great.
But those are the things I have to do first thing.
So I have to tell you, in terms of talking about coffee, one of the things that's really sweet that my husband does, he brings me coffee every morning.
In bed?
He does.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
And
He's a
it was
keeper.
I did train him to do that. So I'm going to give him applause for that. It's something
Nice.
very special.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
trained him to do that?
I did
What- how
not
did that
train
look?
him to do
Oh,
that.
you didn't train him to
He
do it. Okay.
untrained. No, he did that. He does that every morning.
Does he ever come with coffee and you're like, I'm not ready to get up yet? Does that happen or no? Or-
He gets up much earlier than I do.
Okay.
And so that is part of
Well,
our
if he's going to
morning
the
routine.
backyard and he's picking the beans and then he's like, roasting them, I mean, that takes a couple hours.
He's not that good.
Oh, okay.
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 He just knows how to push a button on the Keurig.
All right. Got it.
So one other thing, have you been to any of these farmers markets that they have locally?
Only I remember on the first day we were talking about different things and you were talking about all these great places you went to. And then you were talking about a coffee roaster or a place where you get coffee at one of those places. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a couple places that sell coffee at those, and you can get fresh coffee. It's really nice.
Do they have
Nice.
cream?
There's plenty of places to get cream at those too.
Well said. Well said, Betty. That was good.
That's
That was
good.
She's
That's
into that
good.
cream. If I was giving out, gifts after this class, I think I'd probably get you a thing of cream.
There you go.
Okay, Richard, this one's for you. So if I said I would pay for you to go anywhere you want in the world on vacation for 2 weeks, where are you going and who are you taking with
Oh
you?
boy.
Well, I think I'm into music so much, so I think if I'm going to go anywhere, I would go over to England, London. There's such good music over there. Royal Albert Hall, so many great foreign musicians, European musicians. I'm very familiar with a lot of the American musicians, but there's so many I haven't seen over there. So I think I would go over there and enjoy 2 weeks of music. I'd take my wife with me because she's very much into music too, and tour around a little bit over there. Maybe ride the train a little bit. And there's really good music in southern Amsterdam, South Amsterdam. There's in the spring, there's a really good music festival that you could send me to. It's called the Oslo Music Festival. A lot of American bands go over there. It's a blues festival, and I've been to that. It's out in the middle of an asparagus field. They harvest the asparagus. I don't know if you know much about that. I'm going to change the subject here for just a second. But the asparagus over there, they harvest it, and it's white, and they serve it that night. Within 24 hours, it turns green. And it's a delicacy.
My goodness, really?
It's a delicacy. You can get the soup. You can get all kinds of asparagus. over there.
Cool. That's neat
But
information.
music is where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. That's cool. Well, by the way, anybody who's watching this podcast or listening to it, you can definitely go in the comments and let us know what you would say for this question as well. So, Betty, what about for you? Where are you going? Who are you taking?
Oh, no question. I would go to New Zealand with my husband. We went there right before COVID. Actually, it was the year before COVID hit, and we were there for 3 weeks. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing
Beautiful
country. Yes. And I looked at one point seeing if we could move there. At that time, they wanted, for old people like us, you had to give them $3 million just to move there. I'm sure it's because they don't want us there, and I can appreciate that. Young people can go, but
They
at
take care of their country.
yes. And the 3
Beautiful.
weeks
Yeah.
that we went was not nearly enough. So I would go there in a heartbeat and just tootle around. We went to both north and south, and it was not anywhere close to being long enough.
Yeah,
It was
beautiful.
amazing.
Did you have a chance to see Milford Sound?
That's the one thing we didn't make. Yes.
Beautiful.
It was a little too far for
Yeah.
the amount of time that
Yeah.
we had. We wanted to do the one where you
gorgeous.
spend the night on the ship and see a sunrise.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
What about for you, Laurie?
Well, I love animals and I love nature. And so we actually are getting an opportunity to put some feet to the plans that we've had for a while to go to Africa. So we have 4 couples that are going to be joining us in the fall next year. And so we're going to be going across Kenya. And we have a 3-week tour. We're staying in 4 different campsites. And our kind of our capstone will be in Kenya across Masai Mara when the Great Migration will be coming through there. So I'm really excited about that. I've been to Cape Town before and across Kruger National Park, but Kenya, we will be with a lot of the Aboriginal people. And so this one is not very cosmetic. This will be out in the woods.
Okay. Well,
out in the desert.
The question was, I would pay for you to go. It sounds like you already got this one covered. So
you can
No. I
contribute.
No, I agree. It's better if I don't. No, that's great. Thank you. So here's so this is kind of like a serious question. You may or may not have a story for this. But it's can you tell me about a time where you feel like you were bullied as an adult and how the situation was resolved? Man, if you want to think about it, I can tell you a quick story from my perspective. I was working a job with a creative company in another country, and I was there doing, creative things, and they changed the person who was my direct supervisor. And I remember having like a team meeting with some of the other creatives in this group. And so I'm the type who, when someone says, hey, do a thing with a group, like I don't like to come to the group and say, we're doing all of these things. I like to get buy-in from everybody and go, let's all come up with this together. So when I put the document together that we were going to run through the meeting, I would say, for this point, I just wrote like blah, 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 ellipsis, because I put in the email, like, we're going to discuss and fill these things in,
Together.
Yeah. And so then I had this person who now is like my new boss, who it was supposed to be a colleague when we all went out there, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting dynamic. I'm like, but whatever. And then I just get a call out of the blue, and he's like, what is this document you put together? And I'm like, oh, it's just for us to, start doing the work. It's like, you wrote blah, blah, blah on a professional document?
Oh,
and
my
I'm
goodness.
like, I go,
Yes.
can we stop like yelling? I don't understand why we're yelling. Like,
goodness,
let's have
yeah.
a conversation, because let me explain what my intent was. You don't explain to me. You don't explain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm like, I felt like I was being attacked. I was like, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? Like, I am well into my adulthood. You're not like my teacher and I'm 7. It reminded me of when I was 7 and my teachers were maybe yelling at me then.
Yeah.
But anyway, it definitely felt like that. And I was like, I'm not going to, do this. And then I quickly went into the mode of, I'm going to do the yes and, which I learned from doing improv, by the way. And then I'm going to develop my master plan. So I was like, okay, I understand that nothing I say is going to change anything in this situation. So I had to step back and just let it. It was just a verbal thing, which can be damaging as well. So I just stepped back from it, and then my wife and I discussed, okay, what's our exit plan, to get out of this situation.
De-escalate and leave, right?
Yeah, but it's just so crazy how sometimes you can have that, in professional circumstances where you're like, why is this happening, to someone? Like, I would never allow that in anything, in any place where I'm working, for that to ever happen. But I didn't know if anybody had any similar stories to tell that have to do with bullying of any kind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I was a nurse for almost 40 years, so I have a lot of those stories. One of them, had been a nurse for a few years. I was working intensive care and open heart, CVICU, and this was when they were just starting to do the open heart surgeries. And I worked the night shift, of course, because I was new to the area. It was in a different state from where I'd been. And I didn't realize this at the time. The nurses in the intensive care just knew what this surgeon, what he wanted done after, the night of surgery afterwards. There was nothing written down. They just knew. And one of the things was I followed along doing what I knew to do. And then in the morning, he just expected to have his patients extubated, where they take the breathing tube out. It wasn't written anywhere. It wasn't an order. So I didn't do it. So the patient was actually had the breathing tube in for an extra hour, and he showed up, and he was like, "Who did this? Who was responsible for this?" And he pulled me over into another room when he found out it was me, and he started with the finger in the face
Oh boy.
and yelling at me, and to the point where, and I didn't respond. I just stood there.
He expected you to be telepathic almost, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I think he wanted me to argue with him.
Sure.
And I said, he started yelling, "I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to get you fired."
Oh boy.
My mind.
So finally, when he quieted for a minute, I just said, "Do your best." And I walked out. Now, I sounded really cool. I looked really cool, which of course the head nurse backed me up because he was wrong. I mean, they should have these orders written. And then I went to the bathroom and sobbed my eyes out, and I was just could hardly wait to get home. But man, I stood my ground there.
That's great.
And it changed things.
That's
but
great.
still,
Yeah.
I'm going to get you fired. Well, go ahead. Do your best.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's no good.
I think my experience that I was thinking about had a lot to do with comfort that we expect in our life. I was listening to a podcast where a gal was talking, saying that the God of our culture right now is comfort. That we don't want to take risks sometimes and press on. That especially at our age when we're retired, that comfort becomes kind of the default. And I'm thinking of a person. I've been writing a book, and I'm a senior citizen, and the comment was, "Why do you want to work so hard at this age? You could just, sit back and drink coffee and enjoy life as a senior
With cream.
with cream."
There you go.
Just, yep, in honor of you, in honor of you. But I think that is that's our culture too. We don't want to have to wiggle a little bit if something is bothering us. We want comfort, and I don't think character is built through comfort. I think when you press on, and I find at this time in my life, I don't need to have those negative voices. I really do have many years left to live, hopefully. And I enjoy pressing the limits a bit and looking beyond what's here. I'm not as concerned about my comfort as I am about building character and leaving a legacy for my family.
Yeah. Cool. What about you? Do you have anything?
Fortunately, I've haven't had any real difficulties dealing with too many people. I do recall though an instance. I'm a salesman, and our company represents other companies in Kansas, Missouri, and Southern Illinois. We sell equipment in the wastewater field, and I remember going to a sales meeting. One of the difficulties that we used to have was we handled Kansas, and we used to have just the western half of Missouri, and the reps in St. Louis would have Southern Illinois and the eastern half of Missouri. So we were always butting heads in the middle of Missouri. The rep for certain products would try to come over and poach things in our area. We really didn't do too much of that going the opposite direction. We were trying to be honest, and we had contracts where you were supposed to be honorable. Well, we had a rep one time. I was at a sales meeting, and the rep in Missouri on the eastern side came up to me right in the middle of the sales meeting in front of everybody and told us that we were going to lose a set of counties on the very eastern side of our territory that was going to be very lucrative in the future because of a big lake there, and they were going to be pulling 130,000 homes off of septic tanks and putting them on central sewers. So he was telling me in front of everybody how we were going to lose that territory and his company was going to get it. So it was quite embarrassing. This was a young guy that had just been with the company for a short time. Well, sure enough, after I got home after that sales meeting, I got a call from our national sales manager with that company, and he told us we were losing that territory. So I could have reacted in a bad way, but I decided to hold my tongue, and I went and did some exploration on what was really going down in that territory. And I became friends with a guy that had just purchased the sewer company down there. And him and I became very good friends. And he went back to this company in St. Louis and to my national sales manager and said, I'm not doing business with you. And Mr. Sales Manager, if you want to sell your products, we're going to be working with Mr. Bowers. So I got everything turned around.
That's
and
fantastic.
I think it was mainly because I think I handled things properly and didn't overreact.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been very fortunate. So I haven't had too many run-ins with
great.
people.
Yeah. That's cool. It's just, it's so funny, because people just talk about bullying being a big thing with kids and stuff. Obviously it is. But it's true. Like it's kind of something that's out there, always, so people can experience these things like almost at any time in
At
life.
every age, it's
Yeah.
not just little
And,
kids.
the sad thing I think right now is there's so many kids that are, let's say, grow up with some kind of whatever circumstance. I've got a grandson that's got autism, and these kids can be so, if they aren't exposed to what really goes on out in the world, they grow up in an imaginary world, and then when their parents eventually are going to be gone before them, when they're gone, they're mainly taking care of these kids. What are they going to go through? When they find out the realities that there are people out there, there's bullies, there's people that you're going to have to deal with. And I don't think a lot of these kids are getting exposed to that. So I'm worried about that because I know my grandson hasn't been exposed to a lot of it.
It's a lot of it's kind of precipitated on insecurity too. Being in the classroom with kids who had multiple concerns, health concerns or like autism and ADHD, and I mean, just a multitude of things. Usually when bullying is taking place, there's a lot of insecurity by the people who are giving that information out.
That's true.
Yeah. Dialogues is needed, not monologues, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
So by the way, did you know that we're recolonizing to Mars? Okay. We're recolonizing to Mars. You can take one TV show with you. So you got to pick, okay? You get, for entertainment, that's the only thing. You got to pick one TV show that you can watch. And you have to pick a dish, like a type of food that you can have. Everything else, you're just going to be eating dirt and rocks. Okay, so you got to pick the one thing that you're gonna connect to. And for entertainment, you can still go out and juggle rocks and throw rocks and like draw things in the dirt. You can do that for fun. But you do get one TV show. So I just want to know, what TV show are you bringing, and what dish are you bringing as the only thing that you can eat from your past life living here on Earth? Let's go with you, Laurie.
Oh boy. I need some ideas. You know what? I have to say that, do I have to take a TV show? Can I take a good book?
I mean,
I know
you're going to be using that mostly to light fires and stuff. So,
wow.
yeah.
It's got to be
There's a lot of
comedy,
good books that have been turned into series.
There
and
you go.
shows,
There you go. So that's my plan, Dick. That's my plan. I'll bring a book.
There you go.
And I'll create a video or
wait,
a movie.
what are you creating this with? I mean, you can only bring one dish and one TV show, but
dish.
yet we can bring all this film equipment to make a TV show. I don't know.
Okay, chips and guac.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah,
That's a good
chips
choice.
and guac and a good comedy. And there are so many. I can't. I'm not a big TV watcher. I like books.
Well, I'll come over to your igloo or whatever we'll be in, and your rock cave or whatever, and we'll have guac and chips. I like that. That's good.
Okay, on
That's
the
good.
moon.
And then I'll bring like a TV show.
I
or
would
something.
love that.
Because there's many. But
yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you guys got?
Okay, so I think my favorite food is acai. Do you guys know what acai bowls are?
Yes.
I thought you were like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we have that almost. We fix that almost every breakfast. We do it at home. You can buy the acai, at the grocery store, and then we just bring in fruit, granola, and all that. So I think that's what I would have to bring. Now
that's healthier.
Now the only problem with that is I'm now thinking about that, but how would I plug in the blender?
This is
and I don't have a blender, maybe. So
here's what you don't have to worry about. Okay. whatever you need to make the one dish that you're taking with you, you get to have, and you don't got to worry about that. It's coming from like the sun.
A
It's
solar
gonna
panel
power.
or
Yeah.
something.
See, you're
It's gonna
changing
power
the
it.
rules
No,
now.
no, I'm
Yep.
not. I'm not. I'm saying like whatever you choose, you're gonna get to be able to, you know.
Mm.
to-
Okay,
Yeah.
so as far as a TV show, I think I'm going to have to pick Survivor because Survivor,
Can help you. Yeah.
number one, it's been around for like 25 years, and if I'm
There you
going to
go.
bars, I want to be around a while to see what's going on up there. So
There you go.
I want to pick a long running show.
Yeah, you don't want to pick
There you
like
go.
a show that was canceled after one season.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
We're going to
cool.
be beaming it up. You know, we want inspiration up
There
there.
you go. So I'm surprised that you didn't choose The Voice or America's Got Talent since you love music so much. That's long running too.
It is. And I thought about Naked and Afraid, but, you know,
There
by
we go.
yourself, maybe not.
There you go.
That's great. Yeah. Well, how about for you, Betty? Are you taking Naked and Afraid?
No, I don't even know what it is. I have a pretty good idea. The answer to that is no.
No.
I agree with Laurie. I don't watch a lot of TV. However, I realize I'm up against the wall here.
Mhm,
So I would have to say it's been a lot of years since I watched TV. So I would pick one of two, and that would either be MASH or the Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
Because
boy.
I do remember I enjoyed those. Haven't seen them in years and years and years. Now, of course, since I'm on Mars, it would have to, and I'm watching TV, and that's really all I have. It would have to be popcorn because I don't want
yes.
anything real healthy. Because I can't imagine that I really want to stay there for a whole lot of years. So
Mhm.
I would say highly buttered and salted popcorn.
Oh, then you got to have a good movie.
It's an unlimited. It's an unlimited supply, by the way. Whatever it is that you want, it can
Oh
be
my
a
gosh.
snack or a dish. I think
Yeah.
it's a good choice though because with popcorn, you know, you can eat that. I mean, you could eat it every night, but if you're like, oh, I love lasagna, you can't just eat lasagna every single day.
True.
So popcorn is a good choice.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You and I are going to come back bigger. If we do guac and chips and popcorn with butter, we're going to come back a lot bigger.
I guess they're under the assumption they're coming back. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're recolonizing to Mars. We're
Oh,
not
shoot,
taking a quick little trip there like we're going to
I'm
Europe
not
and shooting
going.
back in 3 weeks.
I'm not going then.
Oh,
I like
you have
it here.
to go. Sorry, you can't change the rules.
That's
And
the
we're-
premise.
We are going. We're gone. We're done. It's over. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
bummer.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for answering that question that has to do with reality. So I want you guys to tell me, and we'll start with you, Richard, on this. Tell me about a time, where you felt proud of somebody in your family. Anybody in your family, something stand out. It doesn't have to be the most proud. It's just a moment that you want to share where you felt proud of somebody in your family.
I think that I would probably talk about my dad because he had an opportunity that he shared with my sister and I way back when he was like 20 years old. He bought 200 shares of Quaker Oats, and that 200 shares he paid like $100 for. When a year before he passed, that Quaker Oats stock was worth over $250,000.
My goodness.
And he took that money. He could have taken that money and lost half of it to taxes. But he came to my sister and I, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to donate this money, and I want to donate it. We won't owe any taxes on it, but I want to do something that you two will benefit for the rest of your lives, and I will hope to help other people." So he was a graduate from the University of Kansas, and he was really big into basketball, and so he made a donation. Our family had had basketball tickets at the university since the mid-'50s, and they were the original James Naismith, who wrote the basketball rules and inventor of basketball. He was a coach there, and so Kansas has a proud tradition. And so my dad donated that money, and it went to two things. It went to a basketball scholarship in our name every year, and has been since 1992.
Wow.
And then the other thing is it enabled my sister and I to be able to continue to attend games and buy tickets, even though they had converted the ticket situation to major donations. Now, to get good seats, you have to donate big bucks. I'm talking 50, 60, 70,000 plus every year
Oh.
to be able just to purchase good seats. So where we used to have seats at half court, we're now in the upper deck. But
But you're still
they've
there.
slowly
Still
moved
in
us out,
seats.
and
That's good.
hopefully this isn't our last year. They've made a change this year, coming year, and they're going to add donations to the price of the tickets. So now you have to not only donate big money, but you have to do that just to even buy the tickets. So
Wow.
it's a sad thing. But
Big
anyway,
business.
Okay.
I'm proud of him because
That's nice.
he could have taken that money and done other things, and he made a lasting impression for
Yeah.
both a lucky basketball player every year that gets the scholarship, and for us too.
Yeah. All right.
This is a tough question. Oh gosh. I guess right now, I'm most proud of my husband that I shared, I think, in one of the other podcasts, that we are separated and yet we are still happily married. And he takes a fair amount of judgment, I think, from certain parts of the community, and he's sticking by me, and we have a great relationship. And I know a lot of men would not be strong enough to continue with this. And yet, I'm very proud of the way he has acted through this whole situation this year.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. Good to know. How about for you, Laurie?
With 17 grandkids, there are a few proud moments that this Nana has had. But I'm thinking of my 11-year-old right now that lives in France, Elijah. And for the last couple of years, he's been suffering with alopecia. And so, going into middle school in a new school, and they live in Toulouse, France. So he's different in the respect that he's American over in a French school. But I am so impressed with how he's handling this because he became completely bald. And while he was 9 at that time and just had little tufts of hair, many of his classmates, of course, thought he had cancer or, fatally ill. And he handled it so well.
Wow.
And he has gone through a series of stem cell treatments, and he's doing some things with gut health and just kind of restructuring his eating. And for a little kid not to have any sugar, it's amazing. But I'm thinking he's really a good little soccer player. And so when he was playing soccer and didn't have hair, he was so concerned about going to a new team and wondering what his teammates would think. And so one of his favorite international soccer players also has alopecia. And so he got a whole bunch of different hats that were kind of cool. And what I have found now with him being 12, he has such an unbelievable empathy toward other people. I know that this illness that he's gone through is going to really be a character builder for him. And again, when they came to visit with us last year, it was so impressive. They had to leave to go back at France at 5 a.m. And unbeknownst to Grandma, I was taking the whole family to the airport, and he told his daddy, my son, I want to go and make certain that I get to say goodbye to Grandma, even though it's 5 a.m. And so, he's sleeping in the back, just so precious that he would take time. He's very, very wise for his age, and he is a global thinker in terms of how other people are feeling. I just feel that God's got his hand on Elijah's life.
Can you
very
explain
proud.
that a little bit, the illness? I'm not familiar.
Alopecia is baldness.
Oh.
And so he's been receiving it's an autoimmune disease. And so he's been going to Spain for a series of treatments. He had to be out of school for 4 weeks, and going into a new school in France, that was very hard. and he's a good student, but if you can imagine trying to keep up after 4 weeks being gone. And the beauty of it right now is that his hair has grown back 3/4, but he has a bald spot right in the middle of his head. And so, he's got to do the little Trump swoop-de-doop over, the swoop over with the hair.
We all have that.
Yeah, there we go. But that's very difficult when you're 11 and 12 years old, but he's handling it with such maturity. I'm very, very proud that his character is built as a result of suffering from alopecia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. So we're going to do rapid fire. If it doesn't apply to you, just say pass. Like if I were to say, hot dogs or burgers, and you're like, well, I don't eat either, just say pass. But if you have a preference, let me know your preference. Okay? Are you ready? We're going to start with you.
Okay.
We're going to go you to you, and then we're just going to keep going all the way around. Okay? All right, ready? Okay. Corn or flour tortillas?
Corn.
Okay?
Corn.
Yeah, I could go either way.
There you go.
No. I think I prefer flour though. I think I do. Okay. Weekend getaway. Are you going to the beach or are you going to the mountains?
Oh, beach. Definitely beach.
Going to stands to dance on Sundays.
I'm going to the mountains with a good book and some binoculars.
Yeah, I think the mountains as well. I think for me, even though.
No, wait a minute. You guys, you said a weekend. How are you going to get to the mountains? We're in Florida.
So we already did a thing about going to Mars, and you're going to challenge me on.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna challenge me on the weekend getaway. Can't even I'm gonna hire a private jet or a helicopter that's just gonna take you right to where you need to go.
Machu
You'll be there in a
Picchu.
couple hours.
You know, you can actually do that at the Naples airport.
Okay, well, I'll look into the pricing and I'll be in touch.
I was going to ask in the winter or the summer, because in the summer I'd go in the mountains. In the winter, no way.
Yeah.
Too cold.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go there. I'm trying to play along.
I appreciate
Team
that.
player. Yeah, there you
thank
go.
you. Okay, so this one you're gonna have to be a little quick about it, and you won't be able to think about it for too long. But you have to pick one superpower that you want to have. Which one is it going to be?
Oh, gosh. That I can fly.
Read minds.
I want to do so many things.
Yeah, but you got to pick one.
Oh, I think flying sounds really good.
Yeah, flying,
I
I think
think
is an easy
flying
one.
would be
I think
good.
it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had conversations with my daughter about, well, I want to be invisible because, and I'm like, well, if you're invisible, you can just like spy on people or steal money. I don't know what else you're using it for. If you fly, you can spy on people and steal money, and you can do so many other things
And
too.
get away.
Waiting.
You can get away.
To the mountains.
And get away.
Weekend.
Very well said.
That's good.
Okay, well, listen, we are at our, this is our longest podcast, I think. We went 39 minutes. So I figured let's just go around, starting with you, Betty. Let's just wrap it up. Just say goodbye. Our experience is coming to an end as our storytelling and podcasting class is ending. This is the February into March 2025 session. So let's just sign out, say goodbye. Any thoughts you have? Any parting thoughts?
Oh, this was an amazing class. I would take storytelling part 2 if it was available, especially if John was teaching it. This has been an amazing experience, and the group here, the students have just been outstanding, and I've really enjoyed my time here. So thank you.
I couldn't agree more. This has been a wonderful class. It's been fun to get a little bit of experience doing a podcast, a little bit of storytelling. I feel like I'm learning quite a few things here, so I recommend it to anybody that's thinking about it.
Cool.
Yeah. Ditto. I think too, in addition to learning about podcasts, we built a nice friendship in the class, and it's been so nice to have a small class.
That's true.
To get the personalized and customized training, John. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's been a great experience for me. Like I said, you come with such great experience and great stories, and I think you're all great humans. I wish that Bonnie was here. Bonnie, I don't know if you're watching when we, put this out, but you would have been here. We would have done 2 podcasts, but we did one a little bit longer on this day.
She's the spunk of the group.
She is,
She's amazing.
Spunky.
Yeah.
So we missed you. We missed you today. So that's it for us. So we're going to say goodbye for this set of the student series for the Arts Bonita podcast, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.